there's been a lot of buzzy press and publicity about the emerging growth markets in the BRIC countries. But two things have been forgotten, I think, sometimes in the middle of all of that. First is that Western Europe, the original core countries of the European Union, form a very substantial and very stable customer base for US companies, and essentially companies can grow quite rapidly by investing in getting those customers on board and growing their companies with them. Secondly, there are a number of very not that well known but fast growing countries in Eastern Europe that have joined the EC, countries not just like Czech Republic that everybody knows about, or Poland, but countries like Bulgaria, Romania, Slovenia, that are politically very stable, and two of those, Bulgaria and Romania, are going to be full-fledged members of the EC in every way, with their citizens able to move freely within the EC within about a year and a half to 2 years. These countries have extremely low corporate tax rates. For example, in Romania, the tax rate is just 10%. And they are driving down corporate tax rates across the whole of Europe as a result. So there are many European companies that are moving their headquarters to Eastern European countries. And with it, there's a general move of capital and knowledge going with it, such that my guessing is that in about 3 to 5 years' time, the next kind of news story is going to be about the emerging markets of Eastern Europe. The key thing, I think, though, is that some of the more important directives, like the Data Privacy Directive, employment law, in particular some harmonization of employment law regulations affecting working time, working hours per week, overtime, methods for terminating non-performing employees, things like that may gradually over time become less disharmonious. I'm choosing those words very carefully. What I'm seeing is growth and buzzy growth in specific technology sectors, and it really doesn't matter where they are. So what are those sectors? I've written down a few. One of them is solar power, long life batteries as examples of green technologies, medical diagnostic equipment, and also clinical testing of new drugs. I see a lot of Indians, companies that have set up software operations in India now hedging their bets by developing some software capabilities in China. And I see the other way around, companies that have got manufacturing bases pretty much 100% in the Chinese basket, now trying to diversify and set up factories in places like Philippines, Vietnam, and India as a counterweight to having all their eggs in one basket. So, that's just one observation. I'm not sure that it's so much that this market's got the balance sheet or that market's got the expertise. I think it's more a question of what technologies really does the world, and I don't mean just the Western world, I mean the Western world, the Eastern world, given the scarcity of resources over the next 50, 60 years, what types of technologies are going to be the winners? And they're really going to get the funding regardless of where they are. It doesn't really matter whether they're in the Sahara Desert or whether they're in London or New York. Russia today, by the way, is what China was about 10 years ago in terms of setting up. It's possible to do, but it's very bureaucratic and time-consuming. Same with Brazil. So, you talk about BRIC, but the B and the R's of BRIC are really quite difficult countries to operate in. Brazil has tried to simplify a lot of its rules, but they're still very complex, and it's very easy in Brazil, if you set yourself up the wrong way, to end up paying more than 100% of your profit in tax. You can end up with a tax rate that exceeds 100% of your profit if you set up in Brazil the wrong way.
Can you compare what it would cost here to do the same jobs, what it would cost there, and then the second thing is what is the quality?
The rules are all pretty clear-cut. They're not fluid rules like they might be in somewhere like Nigeria. The rules are clear-cut, but it's very, very bureaucratic, and it's organized and policed in a very un-business-focused manner. So in other words, the authorities are the king, and you have to jump to their bidding. Having said that, they are human beings, and at the end of the day, and there have been a number of instances where clients have ended up in penalty situations, and it's been possible to talk to them and get some kind of amelioration of a situation. So common sense is being applied, but Russia today is very much like China was about 8 to 10 years ago.